Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Something custom can calls about but comes so fairly known. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in, as always, to Wanna Bet. I'm Jason. That's Ben. This is Wanna Bet. We're a little before noon today. Rocco did not catch the train he was originally supposed to catch, so I should have already been back from Penn Station with him. That's not the case. I still have to get him. So Ben was kind enough to get us going here a little earlier than noon so that I can scramble to get this guy home before I have to go to the radio station. We do this every day, 7 days a week. We give you first down, second down, third down, our three favorite plays we've made since yesterday's show. Fourth and long, could be fourth and short. It might get you paid very early in a game, like I tried to with Giants to punt first drive yesterday. Or it could be a long shot bet or a long-term bet, like a future fourth down is sort of a catch-all. Overtime, we give you a football parlay every single day. And unlike all the rest, we tell you exactly what we did last night, what we've done since we launched this show, and where we are. Look, we love Jackson Dart rushing. We did the 40-plus. We laddered it to 50-plus. We gave that out. I hope you guys did it with us. We love the Hurts anytime touchdown. He was not going to go 3 straight games without a tush push. He hadn't done it since 2022. My God, were they committed to that bit. But we also thought that the Eagles would win. If you had told me, though, that Jalen Carter wasn't going to play, I don't think I would have had Eagle money line in those parlays. That came as a bit of a surprise to me. But we were laying 0 points with the Eagles because we thought it'd be a little bit of a battle, but on a short week, the more experienced team. And again, I didn't know that Quinyon Mitchell basically wouldn't play in that game and that Jalen Carter wouldn't play at all. But that's why they call it gambling. Beltway Ben, you were all over Wan'Dale Robinson. That was early and often.
Yeah, and Saquon as well, which after the first 2 carries of the game, I'm laughing.
He's looking good.
It's going to go for 150. I mean, he rushes for 31. Did clear the longest carry. We had him over 17.5. 18 yards is what it was at. It's crazy how close these lines are, but he did cash that. We lost like 4 props with him involved, but we had so many different plays to cash. We had Wan'Dale Robinson, all 3 props we had him involved cashing. We had Saquon's longest rush. So overall on the night, we were up a unit, even with the Saquon struggles. I mean, we had Saquon over 80.5 early in the week. We had him 100+ by itself and in a few parlays, but we still did cash 2 bets with Saquon involved. We had his first half rushing yards. That last carry, shout out to Tanks Bigsby doing whatever he did on the return because that ended up getting Barkley a good run to go over his first half total. As long as carry went over, as I said. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, we had his first quarter, which cashed with 1 catch. And he ended up catching 3 balls. We had his regular yards, his regular receptions. And it was just a very up and down night. If Barkley continued how I thought it would go, and to your point about Jalen Carter, if he plays, their defense is able to get more stops. Philly gets more possessions. And I know their offensive line sucked. Like it was hard to watch. It was really bad. But the Giants were able to tee off a little bit. Their offense is starting to get predictable. And I don't know, like the first 2 drives, I'm like, all right, Saquon's going to kill this. And then it just wasn't there again.
Yeah, Eagles have a lot of work to do here. They are giving me some pause. All of our bets that we make, we log them immediately in the Super Discord. Me, Ben, Eric Casillas, literally, we're in there all the time on that Discord, letting you know what we bet, why we bet it, where we bet it, and why you should get it at those odds while you can. So if you want to join us there, it's pretty cool community. We're doing great stuff. And again, all we're trying to do here is help you guys get paid. We're not getting paid by sports books to sell you fake parlays like most of the jokers in this industry. All right, Beltway Ben, where are we going on first down?
Yeah, first down will be a look-ahead spot, and it's Sunday morning. I did want to make sure that I'm still looking into the game, so maybe we give out one tomorrow. But as always, we're not going to be able to give away 9:30 a.m. plays on Sundays with how we do the show, so I do want to get that out of the way. Marvin Mims over 25.5 receiving yards. And you look at his numbers, and I get it. He's under this in 4 of 5. One of the unders was 24 yards. He's got 15 targets in the last 3 weeks. Now, he's not doing a ton, and him and Bo Nix are just off. if there's a get right spot, it would have to be this passing defense. Sauce Gardner's probably going to be shadowing Cortland Sutton. Sutton's been very good. He's been, going over his number regularly. I stay away from that sometimes just because I feel like the week that you get on it, it's going to go under, and that's how it happens sometimes. But I do like Marvin Mims here just because he can cash this with one catch. We know the explosiveness. The long ball hasn't fully been there yet. I do think Bo Nix gets it going here against this awful. I mean, this is one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. When you look at any different metric, whether you go advanced or not, the Jets have not been good against the pass. And it's kind of surprising given Glenn's background and what he has. A lot of people thought he'd settle it. That has not been the case. They've been getting picked on a lot through the air. We saw it last week with Dallas in a game that the spread was as tight as it was. And Dallas did whatever they wanted. So the Jets defense is not what it was last year or the year before. And I do think could we get 3 catches and some short stuff? We also know that little pop that they give him. Can he break a tackle and go long? Maybe. But I do trust this year. I might be on his longest reception tomorrow. I was considering that because if he goes over either of the two, I think it's because they hit him down the field. Weird spot when you play the 9:30 kickoff field, and it's always slippery. Defenses seem to struggle a little bit. It takes time for them to figure things out. So I do like Marvin Mims over 25.5 receiving yards.
Excellent. First down for me. I just realized I thought I was going to give out the M's tonight. I'm going to have an extra pick. Is that all right?
No. Yeah.
I like the Mariners on the money line tonight. They've gotten to Scooble. We had Tony Gwynn Jr. on our show, our radio show. He made a great point. Look at how the Tigers struggle, and look how most teams struggle to hit in Seattle. It's a terrible vantage point. Batters can't pick the ball up. Seattle's obviously their hitters are more used to it than anybody else. Like, do I think Polanco's hitting 2 solo shots this time? No, but I still think Seattle has the deeper lineup. They are an elite team at home. They struggle on the road. So I'm giving that out. I like the Mariners plus 120 on the money line. All right. First down, Baker Mayfield. He's on fire. I think he's the MVP in the league right now. Egbuka's doing amazing stuff. 425 receiving yards already, 5+ touchdowns. No Godwin, no Evans. It hasn't really mattered. Does San Francisco have a number 1 corner? No, I don't think they really even have a number 2 corner. It's been a lot of pitch and catch. If Trevor Lawrence didn't stink and Brian Thomas could catch the ball, the numbers against San Francisco's secondary would be even worse. As it stands, opposing passer rating 100.1, 9 touchdowns, no picks. San Francisco hasn't picked the ball off since November. San Francisco's got 6 sacks all year and the second worst sack rate and a bottom 5 pressure rate. You give Baker time, he's going to pick you apart. Baker's thrown for 2 or more passing touchdowns in 4 of his last 5 games. I don't really fancy San Francisco. I think this is a higher scoring game. Does San Francisco finally start running the ball here against a defense that can't stop the run? I mean, maybe, but they're only averaging 3.1 per attempt. And I think Kyle Shanahan just wants to show off Mac Jones and throw the ball. So I think Tampa's going to have to score some to keep pace. Tampa's defense has not been good. So I see a script where they're throwing the ball, even if they're just throwing it to Rachaad White, who can win for them in the screen game all 4 quarters. So that's a conservative number on the receiver. And again, if San Francisco had a pass rush, I might have some pause, but they don't. Second down, Beltway, Ben.
Yeah, second down, we will go to a little tonight parlay, I guess. So just a Friday night parlay to get us the plus money.
Sucking now.
Washington on the money line. Listen, Rutgers defense is awful. They have not played good football, and this is an over spot. Like the number 60.5, I'd look into the over again. It's not an official play. I'm not giving that out. But Washington on the money line, I think that offense is dangerous. It can do crazy things. And I don't think Fish is going to have those guys ready to go compared. Maryland's defense is much better than Rutgers is as it is, but they still miss. Like there were a few throws that he'd want back, and Coleman wasn't really able to get going. That won't be the case tonight. I think Washington handles business from the jump, but we just have their money line. North Texas plus 17.5. Their money line is a play that I was on the fence about giving out here. Wow. I think a lot of people, when you look at USF, again, I talk about just the regular casual bettor, what they think, automatically remember the Florida win with them. Oh, they beat Florida. How are they going to lose to North Texas? You run and bet that, and it usually goes against you. I didn't end up giving it out, but just how people think. North Texas plus 17.5 at home. I think they handle business there. They cover, like that's I don't see them winning by more than 3 scores. I just don't if USF is to win. And then Alyssa
Agreed.
Thomas, 8+ rebounds is what gets us to plus money. This is the big play here. She's got this in 6 of 7. They are down 3-0. We're close to losing that futures bet. It is what it is. The Mercury, I thought they played a little bit better. They've had 2 games down the stretch where they kind of gave them away. So it is what it is. I do think that they play tight tonight. No Sabali means a lot more for Thomas on the glass. And I know Bonner, which we'll get to in just a minute, in third down. I know she plays a role in the glass, but I think Alyssa Thomas will still grab boards. She's been like a double-double and triple-double machine all year. So if she can't grab 8 boards, I'd be pretty surprised here. And we're getting these 3 at plus 103. Really, to me, again, in conference games, you're always risking things. I get that. But to me, this is basically Alyssa Thomas, 8+ rebounds for plus money.
I like that. Everybody likes a Friday night parlay, baby.
Absolutely.
Second down for me. I wrote about the Raiders this week in my column at the Washington Post. Talked to some people who know Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's pretty pissed off. Ashton Genty's becoming a scrimmage monster. Chip Kelly is bottom 8 in the NFL in percentages of run plays called. Geno is getting mauled because the left tackle went out for the year in September. And when Geno does throw the ball, he's throwing picks. He's thrown 9. Just go find the clip of Pete Carroll this week talking about the problem is not my quarterback. The problem is my quarterback doesn't call his own plays. My problem is the guy who I'm paying $6 million a year to call plays keeps calling the wrong plays and putting him in positions to fail. This is Pete Carroll saying, hey, I think our run game looks pretty well right now. Like, I think our run game's kind of cooking. Who are they playing this week? Tennessee. Tennessee's 27th in rush D EPA. Tennessee's allowed 10 rushing touchdowns already this season, 8 to running backs. Genty's had 100 scrimmage yards each of the last 2 games. Like, they just got embarrassed by the Colts. They play Kansas City next week, then they go to the bye. Pete Carroll's 74 years old. Pete Carroll goes to the bye with 1 win and a quarterback who's 37 years old throwing all these picks. I got news for you. Pete Carroll might be not that far behind Bill Belichick in terms of see ya, hoss. It ain't working out here. We got to draft a quarterback in the top 5 next year, and we don't want a 75-year-old coaching him. I'd be stunned if they don't feed this rookie running back all over the place. And again, the Tennessee defense has had trouble. Even when they've tried to load the box, they've had trouble. And this kid can win for you in the passing game. So at plus 175, I like that a lot. Do I have a ladder going with Ashton Genty's scrimmage yards? I do. Does it get as high as 125? It does. Third down, Beltway, Ben.
Yes, third down, we will go to my favorite play of the day. And it's WNBA. And to Jeff's point, Jeff did give a good comment. That was the last WNBA parlay of the season. This probably is going to be the last WNBA play of the season. With no Sabali, I don't know.
It's sad when you put it that way.
It is really sad. It's really sad to think about, but we will have Unrivaled soon. I'll play some Unrivaled stuff. Depending. 3-on-3 betting is kind of hard. But DeWanna Bonner over 13.5 points at minus 130.
I know what would make it easier.
Yes.
I have a theory here too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Definitely. So DeWanna Bonner over 13.5 points at minus 130. She went for 25 last game. She comes into this. This is 15th final WNBA finals game for her. She's in year 15. She's been in the league a while. They're going to need her to step up. Alyssa Thomas, I love what she does. She's a great all-around player, one of the best all-around players in the WNBA. But scoring has never been her big thing, her forte. She could give them 20 on a good night, but she's not going to fill it up. Kalia Copper got going late last game and has been good scoring, but they're going to need someone else. Bonner showed what she can do last game. Sabali is out. Bonner can shoot the 3. She can work inside. She's going to be aggressive on the glass. There's always second chance opportunities for her when she's on the court. I like what she's done. 13.5 feels low to me, given what she's done. But again, we're paying a little bit of juice. I just take it to 13.5. This is what it is. I wouldn't play it anywhere else. 13.5, I think she has a big night again. And maybe it's not the 25-point night that it is, but all we need is 15 points here. And right now, I think she's their second best scorer. I think Alyssa Thomas is fine swinging it around, letting others get involved and do things. Does she change her, mentality a little bit with the situation? Maybe, but she's still a great passer, and Bonner's going to get going. The farewell play.
Meatball says, whoop, whoop. Third down for me, Beltway, Ben. We love Tua and Waller against the Panthers defense last week. We really love Ferguson and Dak against the Panthers defense this week. They cannot stop tight ends. Teams throwing to their tight ends against the Panthers this year. 32 of 38 for 401 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 129.8. Is it just dink and dunk? No, 9 yards per attempt. Big boy stuff. Throwing to tight ends against Carolina this year. 11 catches on 12 targets, 116 yards and a touchdown. 3 of 3 for 63 and a touchdown. 5 of 7 for 34 and a touchdown. 9 of 10 for 123. 5 of 6 for 65. Who throws the ball the most in the NFL? Dak Prescott. Number 1 in completions, number 1 in passing attempts. Will this be a throw-heavy script? Well, look, I looked at the weather. It looks really good for Carolina. I know Dallas Dome team playing outside. Carolina's offense much better at home than on the road. So Bryce will get his garbage time, even if you get up early on him. I think he's going to make Dallas keep throwing. I think all Dallas really wants to do is throw to justify Dak's $60 million salary. He's in great form. The tight end is in great form. So to me, this is a conservative play, frankly, for that kind of payoff against that defense. And Dallas's defense stinks. Again, it's going to force Dallas to keep throwing the ball. So we also love this at 60 plus for plus 220. We will have more on Fergie and Dak coming up in, if not Saturday's show, definitely Sunday's show. Fourth and whatever, Beltway Ben. We should just call it fourth and whatever.
I like that. Yeah.
Fourth and W.
Yeah. It'll be fourth and short for me here. I'm just taking a value play here. Detroit Tigers, Seattle Mariners, first 3 innings under half a run. I could have taken it at 1.5 and it would have been regular number, but I think if it's a low scoring game, it's going to be a low scoring game from the jump, and it's going to be pitchers, and whenever the bullpen can go, and we'll see how long that lasts. The number is 5.5. Now, there's been a lot of small numbers here in the MLB playoffs that have blasted over, and I get that, and I get situation. The ball does not carry in Seattle. We know how it is. It's a pitcher's park. It plays well to them. Both starters here. And Skubal, like, you have to think he's going to be tuned up for this one. Is he going to let Polanco beat him on a shot to left again? No, I don't think so. And if he does, it might be later in his outing, because that's what it's been with him, right? I know a little bit in the playoffs, it's been up and down, whatever, especially last outing, just with how it was. But throughout most of the year, it's been him getting tired in the 6th or 7th, probably being out there a little bit too long, because Hinch doesn't trust many starters to stick out there, but he does trust Skubal usually. And I think he's going to hold them down for the first 3 times through. You look at some of the dangers here. How has Riley done against him? Awful. He's like 2 for 9 or 2 for 10 against him. So I don't think that they're going to be able to get to him. Could J-Rod smoke one? Maybe. Could Rosarena? Possibly. But I think in the first 3 innings, he goes maybe 9 up, 9 down. Might have to face Top one more time. But I'm fine with that, because I also think Kirby is going to do what he needs to. The Tigers lineup is just like, they turned it on a little bit last game. Could you buy that? Maybe. But I think Kirby is another pitcher who's dialed in. Do I love him? No, because I like more dogs. I remember him complaining last year about having to go out at 102 pitches. Why don't you be a dog and stop complaining? But I do think he shuts this lineup down just through the first 3. And to me, this is incredible value. Plus 260 for a matchup that everybody is looking at a 5.5 total. I think it stays under here.
Kirby's an Elon guy, I think.
Yeah, he's a.
Our wife went to Elon. When she went to Elon, the nickname was literally the Fighting Christians.
It
was the Fighting Christians. Now it's the Phoenix. But
yeah.
I convinced my kids that it was the Mud Skippers when they were little. I'm like, Mommy's school was the Elon Mud Skippers. Muddy Mud Skipper show. That would mean nothing to you, but oldies like me, Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. So like there's a lot of Mud Skipper bombs, Elon Mud Skipper bombs that get thrown around this house. Fourth and whatever. We're going long. We are getting this while we still can. Ravens to miss the playoffs at plus 135. If you recall from the summer, I told you guys, get on the Steelers for plus money to make the playoffs. Get on the Bengals for plus money to miss the playoffs. This division, yeah, it's garbage, but this is the second most garbage team in the division. Look, they have no spine on defense. They're playing a rookie free safety who's getting exposed. Roquan Smith, when he decides he's going to play football, is pretty shitty at it. He's a $3 million linebacker getting paid $20 million a year. And Nnamdi Madubuike, a top 5 D tackle, might never play football again, and he's definitely not playing again this year. They have all these corners. None of them ever really get their hands on the ball. They have no pass rushers to speak of. They're not going to get any who will truly make an impact. It's a bottom 8 offensive line right now, conservatively, and Ronnie Stanley's ankles are going again. he ain't getting through the season. They cannot run the ball on early downs. They really can't run the ball at all. And people are telling me how easy the schedule is in the second half. Yeah, I don't see it. Let them get to the bye at 1-6, 1-5 going into that game in week 8, whatever. The Rams are going to stomp them, and Pittsburgh's going to beat Cleveland at home because they always beat Cleveland at home. Get these odds while you can. I don't think the Ravens are beating the Bears coming out of the bye. Like, I don't think and that's with Lamar playing. I don't think that's any sort of fait accompli whatsoever. The Ravens are bad on offense, defense, and special teams, period. They're going to fire their defensive coordinator at the bye week. Teams that do that generally don't win divisions, even a watered-down shitty division. Overtime, Beltway Ben.
Yes, overtime. So we discussed it. We'll just go. I'll give out my 3 and then, or do you want to give out your 3 because they're all in order, and then I'll give out mine because they're kind of all over the place. Yeah.
Cool. All right, look, we're pounding defenses that suck against tight ends like we just did it with Ferguson. We're going to do Green Bay, everybody pretty healthy, coming off extended rest, 2 weeks off against a Bengals team that is horrible against tight ends. Kraft is a go-to guy for Jordan Love, and I'll be honest with you, Jordan Love can throw to anybody at any given time. So I do get a little pause about this, but I expect him to be so wide open. Cincinnati's allowed 14 passing touchdowns to tight ends since the start of last season. That's worse than the NFL. They cannot cover them even a little bit. I think LaFleur, after playing with his food and letting some games slip away, will keep his foot on the gas. The Bengals defense is broken right now. They can get a little pass rush, and when they do get pass rush, the ball goes to Kraft a lot. So I also love Kraft over 60 or more receiving yards. Again, the Bengals have allowed at least 60 receiving yards to tight ends in 13 of the last 16 games. The yards per attempt against tight ends soars, and this is a big play offense where it's not out of the realm of possibility that he catches a ball 30 yards downfield and rumbles for another 20 or 30. They get explosives through seam routes, and the linebackers for the Bengals can't cover anybody. Neither can the safety. So I love that play. That's double overtime, triple overtime, and I'm going to have more of these parlays to come. So the Kraft anytime touchdown, Jordan Love to throw for at least 2. Jordan Love's thrown for 2 or more in 3 of the last 4 games. Since the start of 2023, Jordan Love has 15 games with at least 2 passing touchdowns and no interceptions. That's the most in football, my friends. His last 11 starts going back to last season, 17 touchdowns through the air to just 1 interception. A Bengals secondary that's garbage. A Packers offense that just hung 40 on Dallas. I know they're garbage too. But that's looked really, really good against everybody in the league this year, offensively for the most part, except for the Browns. And the Browns are an elite defense. That's not what they're facing here. I'm going to have more plays on this game before it kicks off. What are your overtimes, plural, Beltway Ben?
Yeah, first off, I will tail the first 2. I'm going to tail you on Kraft touchdown and also the 60+. I like that a lot. You know how I feel about the Bengals against tight ends. It's never going to end until it's a personnel fix. Here we're going to go with 3. We have overtime, double overtime, and triple overtime as well. David Njoku, 30+ receiving yards. Ladd McConkey, 25+, and Matthew Stafford, 1+ passing touchdown. You can point to the weather all you want in Baltimore. Stafford will be throwing a passing touchdown regardless. Whether that be it's pouring and he has to throw screens, okay, well, Puka breaks a lot of tackles, and this is one of the worst tackling teams I've watched play in Baltimore in a while. McConkey, they've got to get him going. And I will get to the running back situation in a minute because I think that's kind of interesting. But I do think McConkey get 25 yards. I mean, this dude was going for 60+ and 10 straight at one point. Now, you always have the sophomore slump, but I do think he has no issue getting to 25.
Still getting a pretty high target share. He's getting a pretty high target share.
And he's also had a few taken away. I remember just from the props we have given out on here, he's had a few catches taken away with penalties this year because of how their offensive line is with holding and things like that. So I think he'll be fine with there. And then Njoku 30+. I think we're going to start to see Njoku go. With Gabriel now, he looked very, very, very confident throwing the ball in Njoku's way. We weren't seeing him get involved as much. It was a lot of fan-in. There was hype around that. It was their 4th-round pick. Bowling Green guy. Everybody wants to buy into that. I think Njoku is still one of the more elite pass-catching tight ends. He can do a lot of things well. And against the Steelers, who have really struggled against tight ends over the past few years, I think we see Njoku start to play well this week. And I'm going to probably give out his regular number tomorrow or the next day because I think it's way too low. Double overtime. This is just a simple plus 142 parlay. Penn State over 18.5 first half points. I might be giving away my 4th and short tomorrow because that might be the half.
Yeah, hey.
James Franklin is one of the biggest frauds you've ever seen in your life. He's going to against a Northwestern team. I think he's going to try to run out and try to prove to everybody what he can do, and he just likes to pat himself on the back. Screw that guy. But Utah money line is the other one, plus 142. Levitt's not playing. I mean, that means everything for Arizona State. If he's not playing, I don't know how Utah loses. Dampier's awesome. They have a good defense. They're well coached. I don't see how they lose this game given the situation. I think with Arizona State, how they run and how they go, love the coach, love what they have going. But to me, if that quarterback's not playing, he makes a ton of plays with his legs. Him and Tyson have become a really, really good duo. He's out now, and it's not officially out, but anytime somebody goes from probable to doubtful, clearly something is wrong. It didn't fall that way. And then triple overtime here. This is the big money one. We've talked about it over the past few weeks. We've had some success with it as well. The plus money, the big plus money here. Marvin Mims, 50-plus receiving yards. Talked about it before. He goes over that 25.5. I don't see how he doesn't have just a monster catch at some point to get him way over, which would be 50-plus to me. Rico Dowdle, anytime touchdown. This is a revenge game. Hubbard's still out. He was talking pretty confidently throughout the week. I think Dowdle's going to have another big day. We saw what he did last week. I mean, it was pretty incredible to watch what he was able to do.
Defense, that's for sure.
Exactly. And also like the ability in the pass catching game. And Dallas knows what he can do in the pass catching game. That's another reason I like him just to score. And then Vital over 30.5 rushing yards. I get it, right? Hassan, like the situation is weird because the other guy has that background with Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. I understand what Haskins did at Michigan, and he's been with Harbaugh a while. Vital's look better to me. The more I watch them, Vital has looked like the better back, and Greg Roman has no issue getting every single running back on the roster involved. Like, everybody's going to get touches.
Quarterback can't keep getting hit as much as he is.
Exactly.
That's sure.
And we've heard it. And we've heard them complaining about it, talking about you don't want him getting hit. They have to get both running backs involved. This is a bad run defense they're facing. I do think Vital goes over 30.5 yards. Again, we're getting this at plus 1,174. So I feel pretty good with the value here. Again, when you give out a parlay like this, I see the crazy people who will push stuff like this and tell you to hammer things. No, when we give out big parlays, play it regular. This is a one-unit play for me. Play it regular. But again, if we cash one or two of these every few times, we are very profitable. And we've been hitting them at a pretty good rate so far over the last few weeks.
Text I just got from Rocco. They're having everyone evacuate the train. No idea what's going on. I smelled something burning, so it might be on fire. That's Mark Trains, baby. That's Baltimore, Maryland infrastructure. I'm like, what stop? Like, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if the train is just like, I don't know. I literally just got that text. Hey, it could always be worse.
Definitely.
He's off the train at least. So if it catches fire, it sounds like he's at a reasonable difference. I'm going to bet the over-under on what time he actually gets to Penn Station at over 2:30 p.m. I think it's going to be Lauren or Aunt Jane or somebody else. Halethorpe. He's only at Halethorpe. Anyway, okay.
Not far from where I live. That's not far from where I live.
Yeah, but I thought he'd. I mean, I thought he would have been here by now. That's everything, right?
Yeah.
Let everybody know how it went last night. Beltway Band, not great. Not great. I'm down a couple units. Ben was up a unit. Yeah, the Eagles. What are you going to do? All our picks in real time on the Super Discord, really easy to navigate. Some other professional handicappers in there as well. Doing everything we can as soon as we see value, as soon as we make a play to give it to you guys. We will be back tomorrow. What time do you want to go tomorrow, Beltway Ben? So we go at like 11? We got it, or before the noon kickoffs, or
I think for now, let's say 11. I will let you know, but probably 11.
All right. So it sounds like 11 tomorrow, noon on Sunday. And then our buddy Eric Casillas to be back with us on Monday. We know you want to bet. We certainly want to bet. Thank you for wanting to bet with us. Hopefully it's bibs tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we crush it and there's bibs tomorrow, Ben.